ही 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 भाई ये जो ही है ये 5,000 सब्सक्राइबर वाली ही है हो। थैंक यू फॉर 5K तो हम ऐसे बोल रहे हैं जैसे 5 मिलियन आ गए 5,000 आए हैं हमारे पास आफ्टर 55 years बट ये हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि है एंड वी थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर दिस हमने हाथ जोड़ के विनती मांग के आपसे पिछले एपिसोड में मैंने और सिद्धांत ने बोला था और आप लोगों ने हमारी मांगे पूरी कर दी थैंक यू सो मच फॉर दिस वी लव यू फॉर दिस गाइस एंड इट गोज टू शो that there is a lot of space for honest Indian football conversations, and which is what we strive to do. Thank you so much for joining us on 420 grams. We're joined today by Jaydeep Basu, Sharda Ugra, and of course former India captain Renedy Singh. As of course, हम अपनी बीन बजाएंगे. Renedy bhai is saying he can't hear us. We hope you can fix it, Renedy bhai. क्योंकि आपने stop clock डाल दिया मेरे ऊपर. पहले 10 मिनट तो मैं gloat करने वाला था. कि हम 5,000 ये पर आपने स्टॉप क्लॉक डाल दिया तो आई स्टार्ट स्ट्रेट अवे विद द क्वालिफायर्स सॉरी द प्लेऑफ्स the four teams that have made the playoffs that is Hyderabad ATK Mohan Bagan there is of course Hanji Renedy bhai Renedy bhai can't hear Jamshedpur that is the Shield winners and of course Kerala Blasters Jaydeep sir Sharda how are you guys कैसा लग रहा है आपको इस 5,000 का माहौल अभी
ecstatic very happy
मुझे भी अच्छा लग रहा है मतलब हमारा आदत खराब हो चुका था वो आईएसएल पेमेंट से मिलियंस सुन के तो अभी 5,000 कभी कम लग रहा था लेकिन अभी ठीक लग रहा है as far as it's not ISL payment you are talking about ना
no अपनी फौज बन रही है अपनी स्लो एंड स्टेडी अपनी फौज बन रही है एंड इट्स ऑल बिकॉज़ ऑफ यू गाइस इन फैक्ट yesterday I was talking to a boy who got into football from 2014-2015 onwards and he was also saying the same thing that your entire episode and the podcast has so many varied opinions and everyone puts their opinions on the table so it's really nice to listen to that Renedy bhai aapko आवाज आ रही है
हाँ आवाज आ रहा है ओके या
Renedy bhai 5,000 तो आपके लिए is like this ठक पर हमारे लिए बहुत बड़ी बात है so thank you for this Renedy bhai thank you so much for all the love that you show to this show
हाँ रेनेडी का तो मतलब जब 5,000 ईस्ट बंगाल ग्राउंड में होता था कहते आज पब्लिक ही नहीं आया 5,000 आया है ना कम से कम 25,000 होना चाहिए
this is the beauty of Indian football like legends come for the program yeah legends come accessible
वो तो उनका प्यार है वो तो उनका प्यार
it's a good thing everyone people are liking our show I think we should just keep going yeah
Absolutely. रुकेंगे नहीं now and we'll have small ambitions. Now the next ambition is 5.5. We're not going to 5.5 sir 5.5 पे पहुंचेंगे तो फिर anniversary हम बनाएंगे यहाँ पे but we're talking of course about the playoffs the four teams that are there the first game is of course Jamshedpur versus Kerala and the other game is Hyderabad versus ATK Mohan Bagan Renedy bhai you've seen these teams from close quarters on the field as opposed to us watching it on television and of course you keep on hearing stories because you're all in that one bubble क्या चल रहा है माहौल क्या है टीम में आपको कैसे लगी ये चार टीम्स जो प्लेऑफ्स में पहुंची
I think चारों टीम deserving है if you see but for me Owen Cole Jamshedpur जैसा खेला है and the coach the credit goes to him of course there are some all good foreigners जो हम लोग चीमा हम लोग के लिए खेल रहा था I think the fans were talking about that Chima is not great but Chima I know that how good he is but playing for East Bengal Chima के लिए काफी tough था because East Bengal we couldn't have a great team but they are all fighters but Chima अकेला front में खेल के I think Chima बेचारा उसको East Bengal में खेलने के बाद and the people were talking not great things but the way he performed and now he has shown that how good he is so I'm happy for him I'm really happy for him but if you see the whole Jamshedpur team जो इंडिया का चुना हुआ खिलाड़ी नहीं है अगर देखेगा तो that's why I want to give credit to the coach अभी बोरिस बोलो जितना भी अभी विंगर बोलो सब they are good players but not that great what we are talking about ATK और मुंबई में जो है so उसको मिला के ऐसा खेलना it's not easy at all and again my second team Hyderabad if you see the way the Indian boys are performing there and one good unit and a good group of coaches along with the head coach Thangbo is also there so I think those these two teams I think they have shown that they have played really well they have shown that why they should be in the first four they are playing great football and along with that Ishfaq Kerala is also doing really well. They have performed really well. There was a dip of form, and again they have come up again. So all the best wishes for the semi-final.
Yeah, and that tells you a lot about the team, that you arrest a slide, and then, of course, you keep going upwards and upwards. Sharda, before I get Jaydeep sir in, because Renedy bhai and Jaydeep have genuinely, regularly been watching all the matches. But I'm saying from a league perspective, जो league वाले हैं, वो कह रहे होंगे जी इस बारी 3 ऐसी teams आई हैं, the regulars are not there. So you've got a Hyderabad coming in. You've got a Kerala who's not been there for 6 years with the biggest fan base in India. And of course, Jamshedpur going on and winning the league in the way they have. This is great news for the league. It could be a momentous season for the league.
Yeah, you would think that this sort of the ascent of the unexpected and the ascent of young talent, and I think Hyderabad, even last season, this was the same way that they played. They put a lot of faith in the young Indian players that were there. I'm very happy about Kerala Blasters because they're back here, and also because I have a very personal angle in that team. Because Sanjeev Stalin, who's their defender, he literally comes from like neighborhood, like literally here, Murphy Town, पीछे जहाँ मैं रहती हूँ. So much happiness is there, and I think I should probably think of going and watch the semi-final over there with his mates. Let's see. I don't know about COVID and all, but it's great to see the team where, like Renedy said, I mean, these are not players that are from the frontline stars or whatever it is. I mean, but Liston Colasso in Mohan Bagan has been eminently watchable. And the fact that Mohan Bagan are still there is going to leave all Mohan Bagan fans in Calcutta saying, you cannot leave us out of anything in Indian football. You're always there. We are the national club or whatever that whole thing is. Yeah. So, but it's great to have these teams here. And I'm also, now next year will be promotion relegation, isn't it? Next season?
No, I don't think so.
That is 22-23.
बड़ा question mark है जी उस पे अभी भी.
और वो तो है 22-23 में.
So we are
23-24 ऐसा कुछ है मेरे
अच्छा.
ख्याल से. जो भी है, whatever.
So, and there's a women's league. So I'm quite optimistic and happy about the fact that there are these new sort of teams that are there, and none of this big fancy star names. The whole thing that ISL had lived with for so many seasons, but now you've got something new. You've got new people coming, new talent to see. So it's great. It's an I'm not a massive non-stop watcher, but you can always switch on the TV and there's something watchable going on.
Jaydeep sir, surprised with the 4 teams, at least 3 of the 4 or 2 of the 4 who made the playoffs, or not?
Yes, surprised in the sense कि हाँ, क्योंकि Goa is not there, Bombay is not there, Bangalore is not there. Who are the teams are always on the. Bangalore, of course, last year also didn't do too well, but Bombay, Mumbai, they are going for the Champions League. We thought there will be a crack side, which they very meticulously build their side, but they are not there. Not surprised, but I'm quite pleasantly surprised, you can say. I'm happy, like Renedy said, like Sharda also said, we are happy that such teams have come up. And I feel a bit sad for Hyderabad, because they were in the end when they were actually pushing for the title at that moment. Then their players were hit by COVID, and the match they lost to Jamshedpur, I think 3-0 they lost that match, and they had a lot of players, regular players were missing from the lineup that day. So that also cost them 3 points and perhaps the title also. Because actually for me the league is over, if you ask me. Playoff is there, okay. Playoff is there. There will be a lot of fun in the playoff. I'm sure there will be good football also in the playoff. But actually the league is over. Jamshedpur are the champions, which I thought could have gone to Hyderabad as well. Because Hyderabad, I thought, Hyderabad, I'm not saying they're the best in the tournament, but initially they looked the best team in the tournament. At one point of time they looked. But that always doesn't happen, which initially looks. But both, I'm basically happy for both Jamshedpur and Hyderabad, if you ask me, because they didn't didn't have the not which we so-called frontline players were perhaps not there. But as Renedy said, players like Boris or here Akash Rai and so many other new boys have come up. Jamshedpur, a lot of boys which we absolutely sometime mostly we forgot about them. But they have done so well under the this coach. That's quite creditable, I would say.
Renedy bhai, what was so special about Jamshedpur? Because if you won 10 of your last 11 and you've surged ahead and you bombarded to the league title straight up, 10 of 11 in a league where you're playing 3 games, 4 games, you've coached a team. You know, it's very difficult, you know, to sort of keep that momentum, pump, 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 pump. And COVID hai, pata nahi kya kya chal raha hai wahan pe. What was so special, and what kind of football is Jamshedpur playing under Owen Coyle?
ओवन कोल हम लोग ने भी देखा है ओवन कोल चेन्नई के साथ क्या किया उसने they were going down to maybe the last second in the league table and suddenly they he took up the team to the final. So we know what Owen Coyle can do, and he's a very he's a coach player, if you say that players love him, and you can see that, and the way he talked to him. Even when we our team East Bengal lost 1-0, playing all Indians, 88 minutes we concede. After the match, I was talking to him for 3-4 minutes, and then he was telling me that as a young coach, Renedy, it happens, and you should just keep going, and you get take a lot of positive things from here. So not only to me, but I have seen him, talking good things about his players, even though when they were not at the best. So to encourage them, like I said, the जो Jamshedpur के पास player है, they are not the best player of India right now, but still to make them get going for 10 matches in a row or 9 matches in a row, it's not easy.
So Valskis को जाने दिया आपने?
जाने दिया, and he have chosen the right person. Valskis को जाने दे कि आप चीमा को लेना. Chima, when everyone was saying that Chima form में नहीं है, the whole Calcutta was talking about Chima अच्छा नहीं है, ये अच्छा नहीं है, but the right player that he have chosen, and it's working. And to make them gel in that short span of time, it's not easy at all. And to bring up the players, of course, yes, tactical hai, like in more than that, he knows how to keep the players happy in this short league, if you say. So a lot of credit goes to him and his staff, coaching staff, and the foreigners, the foreigners that he have chosen. Again, it's top notch, and yes, I think he should just.
Is it direct football, Renedy bhai? I'm just asking you.
It's not a direct. Of course, they don't play out from the back, all the time, or they keep in the ground, but they act according to the situations. But I think, and that's again modern football. People talk about tiki taka. You should play only in the ground. But Jamshedpur is a team. You can. They mix it up, and it's not very easy. It's not direct long ball. There are a few players who can play from the back. There are a few players who can play some good passes. So they are mixing it up, and the foreigner like the captain Hartley and Xavier, the defenders, they are doing well. They know how to control the game. They know how to slow down the game, and they have got Stewart who have so many assists and so many goals, and up front Chima and all the Indian players trying to help the foreigners and gel as a great team. I think that is something what I have seen when we played against them also, And again, Hyderabad, I would say, like Dada ne jaisa bol raha tha ki, Hyderabad is a team that he feels sad. But I do also feel that Hyderabad, the way they have performed, the way they have started, I feel that they will go all the way. But again, we have to remember that Hyderabad last year they have not done great. They couldn't qualify. Before that, they were on the bottom of the league. So it's a process that they should just keep going, And I'm sure next year, by the time if they keep the same team, they will do really well. But
I think
but again, Liston Colasso ko chhod ke, I think they must be still missing him because the way Liston Colasso has been performing.
बहुत जबरदस्त खेल रहा है Liston Colasso. We're all waiting that he does that for the Indian team when he wears the Indian blue, because अब जो Chhetri is not there in the camp, all the focus will be on Liston. But Sharda, Renedy bhai was talking about Owen Coyle and how his team plays to the situation. It reminded me a lot of how Mourinho is always questioned for his style of play, for his ethos, and he says that if I limit myself to one style of play, saying I will always play like this, then I am giving the opposition the upper hand, because then you know what's coming from my end. But if I always play according to the situation or play with the limitations of my players, that is what coaching is all about. You have to keep on changing. You have to always be on your toes.
Yeah, absolutely. And in football coaching, it's played out every day on a match-to-match basis. You see it happening. You see coaches responding. And I think a couple of teams in these playoffs, I don't know, I mean, I could be wrong, correct me here. Definitely Kerala and definitely, I think, Hyderabad also, that they've stuck with the coaches. They haven't just changed them and chopped them and switched them over and whatever.
Yeah.
And they've kept them there. And you've got these guys who are able to work with the players that they have. That's also a very big, that's a huge talent. it's one thing to coach a European standard team, and it's another thing to coach a team that you're trying to get them to play in this whole COVID bubble, to get them play in India, and that's what you're able to see, particularly with guys like Owen Call and Vuko Manovic. I have to write his name now, that I'll forget. Vuko Manovic. Yeah. So they're able to see them play and fit in here, and see them enjoying the fact that they've got these players and this is what they're going to work with and play with, even if it means okay, your side has to defend as much as you can. You're not you don't attack, so you hold and then score right at the end. So it's been great watching all these teams and seeing these coaches come into play. I still have my reservation about why no Indian coaches, but that we'll leave for later. But because the playoffs are here.
Well, Jaydeep sir, because Renedy bhai has to go, so I'm quickly getting into the head-to-heads right now. मुझे पता नहीं क्यों लग रहा है सर, क्योंकि प्लेऑफ जो है कप कंपटीशन है, इट्स प्लेड ओवर 2 ties of course. मुझे लग रहा है कि केरला ब्लास्टर्स इज अ टीम टू बी feared, purely because जो आपका वो फ्रंट फोर है, they are difference makers. They can change the game, and when they make a difference, they're scoring goals. It's as simple as that, and that could be the difference for these guys.
You were talking about tomorrow's match, na? First leg match.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true. Kerala is a tough team, no doubt about that. But at the moment, the form is with Jamshedpur, the team which has won 9 of the 10 matches. And Kerala, if you look at last 4-5 matches, they didn't do too well. They did reasonably well to topple Mumbai City for the 4th spot, certainly. But at the moment, Kerala is a good team. There's no doubt about that. Their 2 foreigners on the front are playing quite well. But I think at the moment, the form is with Jamshedpur. But again, form is not everything. What we see on paper is not played on the ground. On the ground, a different football is played. And what will be played tomorrow will be known only tomorrow. But if you ask me, at the moment, then Jamshedpur are certainly hot favorites for me. And
Renedy bhai, आपको क्या लग रहा है?
Brother, for me, Jamshedpur has been a champion, league champion. मैं उसको ज़्यादा respect देता हूँ. ISL playoff में 4th division, कभी-कभी Man City 3rd division से भी हार लेता है.
वो तो है.
So in a tournament and a league is totally different thing. So congratulations to Jamshedpur FC for winning the league. Big respect. And playoffs में कोई किसी को भी हरा सकता है. There is no team we can say that हाँ यही जीतेगा. It's very very difficult to say. But Dada
no, I'm not saying that. But only one more thing.
No, Jamshedpur. I feel the same. Jamshedpur, the way they were playing, the defense that they have got, the combinations they've got, foreigner and mix of Indian players, young Indian players. I still feel that Jamshedpur is likely to win. But of course, never say never. But I feel that the way they are performing.
Only thing is that after winning the league, if there is some problem with the motivational factor, that I don't know.
अगर ज़्यादा पार्टी नहीं किया तो
बबल में कहाँ पार्टी करोगे? हर पार्टी के बाद नाक में कुछ कुछ डालेंगे तो.
Arjun, one more thing I would like to add. You asked me about Jamshedpur and Hyderabad, which I forget to tell you, which I thought I will say. But can I talk for a minute? If you
please, sir, please.
I said Jamshedpur and Hyderabad also is very nostalgic. That also gives me lots of nostalgia, because Tata has been playing football since 1937, Tata Sports Club. Yeah. Then it came to Jamshedpur. Jamshedpur means what do you call it? Godfrey Pereira, Renedy Singh, Mahesh Kawli, Deepak Mandal, Subrato Paul. One after one player came from Jamshedpur at one point of time. And Hyderabad, of course, we have seen Peter Thangaraj, Noor Muhammad, Yusuf Khan. Hyderabad was a legendary city which has produced, I think, 14 Olympians. So revival of these 2 names, Jamshedpur and Hyderabad, also gives you a very nice feeling, I would say. Yeah. Only, of course, only for the old timers like me, maybe not for nothing for the people who watch football these days, but at least for the old timers, it gives a lot of nostalgic feeling.
But Arjun, I must say that हम लोग ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए. मोहन बगान के पास ऐसा player है, senior player who are very very experienced. So playoffs में वो लोग का काम आ सकता है. Of course, Jamshedpur, the way they have been playing, we feel that Jamshedpur को लगता है कि Jamshedpur champion हो सकता है, Hyderabad भी हो सकता है. लेकिन experience matters ये समय में, where मेरा ख्याल से peak at the right time भी हो सकता है मोहन बगान को. So they have got a very good chance. If you see all the senior players that played, so there are a few good players who can change the game. Game changer हो सकता है. Mohan Bagan को भी
So
chances
that's
हो
my
सकता है.
point. It's the difference makers that count in the playoff. It's not your form or anything. It's the difference makers that count. And पता नहीं मुझे क्यों लग रहा है, क्योंकि probably because Ishfaq is joining us in 5 minutes, तो मैं केरला की वाहवाही करे जा रहा हूँ यहाँ पे. But
I think they
हाँ,
deserve to be why crowd because they have real fans. Their fans are like
yeah.
genuine real. You know.
But
You have to
Sharda, if
imagine
they
after
open it up,
10th in last season and 10th in last season and now uske baad what
Yeah.
they've done. You know.
this is
Quite
huge.
something.
Or I mean, there were seasons when you used to watch Kerala play and you would be like, it's insipid football. Why would you come and watch this kind of football? But this
But
time
they-
they're actually playing really good football this season. और मैं तो कह रहा हूँ कि अगर उन्होंने फैंस के लिए खोल दिया गोवा में, तो उन्होंने भरा देना है पूरा का पूरा स्टेडियम. वो पहुंच जाएंगे वहां पे.
अर्जुन अगर
Overnight
अर्जुन
walking in-
okay. या अर्जुन अगर देखेगा केरला ने जैसा खेला शुरुआत किया है, अगर इफ दे कैन कंटिन्यू द सेम, अगर आप लास्ट 4-5 मैच से केरला इज नॉट प्लेइंग द सेम गेम एज दे हैव प्लेड फॉर सो मेनी मैचेस. अब शुरुआत जैसा किया है मेरे को भी इतना अच्छा लगा केरला द वे दे हैव प्लेड, बट दे कुडंट पिक अप दैट फॉर्म. बट आई होप ये लोग सेमीफाइनल में अगर ऐसा कुछ खेल दिखाएगा तो चांसेस है. मगर लास्ट फ्यू गेम्स में केरला हैज नॉट बीन कन्विंसिंग ऑनेस्टली. जैसा वो लोग ने शुरुआत किया, यू नो, इट वाज सच अ ब्यूटीफुल गेम टू वॉच. So they should bring back the old form so that they can do something.
ठीक है.
इशफाक को
रणदीप
बोलना,
भाई,
मैं तो चला जाऊंगा. इशफाक को बोल देना कि हाँ पहला वाला फॉर्म लाओ तो हो सकता है कुछ.
we will pass it on with no returns. We will pass it on with no returns to Ishfaq. But Renedy bhai,
Yeah.
thank you so much for taking our time
Thanks.
and joining us on the show. But अब sir 5,000 छू लिया है, तो अब regularly आना पड़ेगा for 5,500. So Renedy bhai, sorry, हम आपको बहुत तंग करेंगे. Thank you so much.
Thanks दादा. Thanks Sharda.
Thank you, Renedy.
Pandit, thank you. Thanks brother. Thank you. Thanks. Bye.
But this is like, you know, हाँ जी.
collected in my sort of because now BFC is not involved. So in my new Kerala sort of fandom is that the average age of the team is 22.
Brilliant.
22. And you're saying that, and so therefore what Jaydeep is talking about experience, of course it does hold. It does hold. You watch them in the match against Mumbai when they basically just blew Mumbai away with that incredible goal. That it started with that incredible goal, and you think nahi aise hona chahiye. And you know, you speak to their fan groups, and I've talked to them like some 6-7 months ago. Anything happens, I get a message from them saying, with some link to some story, some discussion, some podcast. It's fantastic. I think they really deserve a nice title. I know the Hyderabad Jamshedpur story is too romantic, and being old-fashioned and all, I love it. But please, Kerala Blasters this time.
No, but I mean, it's the biggest fan base, and you can't afford to lose that fan base. It is your biggest prize of this league. For anyone who comes from abroad, and when they used to see the team play in that stadium in Kochi, they would not talk about quality, anything. Just talk about, wow, ये क्या है? वहाँ पे field पे show किया है, and you can't hear anything. What the guy who's literally a feet away from you, you can't hear anything. It's insane. So that needs to be preserved. I think in that way, it's brilliant for the league, for the kind of football they're playing. And I think आपने उसके बारे में बात करी थी, is that they're going to continue with this coach. That has also been a history with this team. कि coach आया, coach गया, coach आया, coach गया.
Yeah. 10th coach in 8 years.
Oh, 10th.
So whenever you have crowd pressure, your coach will change.
Yeah.
If the victory and defeat only affects the managing director of the club, then it doesn't matter. But when there are millions of people involved in it, then coach goes and comes. That's, you can't help it. It happened in Calcutta clubs so many times.
Correct.
क्योंकि इतना गाली पड़ेगा ऊपर से गैलरी से कि वो ऐसे ही भाग जाएगा. उसको भगाने की जरूरत नहीं है. तो केरला में भी ठीक है, चलो. But they were, as Arjun said, they were really attracting lot of crowd at it. And last 2 साल से they were playing such what do you call it, as Arjun says, insipid football. I was afraid that their fans might run away. Actually.
तो बीच में protest किया था उन्होंने.
They are correct. They are proper fans. They do proper protest. Ticket prices go up, they'll protest. Something like they are proper. They like just put pressure. They are like Calcutta level fandom. You know, in that sense,
Kerala is terrific.
They'll go outside the office of the club and they'll be holding posters and police.
Actually, if you look at crowd point of view, I think there can be a book written on Kerala crowd. For the last 50 years in Nagji and all this tournament, the kind of crowd they used to come, my God, because I have
My
seen
God,
them in
I've not been to Kochi to
Kochi.
see a
I
match.
have
This has to be done. I feel this has to be
I
somehow
have
done.
covered football in almost every city in Kerala. I have covered football from Santosh
Wow.
Trophy to what do you call it, Federation Cup, then Nagji, then Caesars Cup. Everything I have covered. Crowd is incredible crowd. There is no doubt about it.
तो
Like
मैंने
in
कोची में सर
95, I remember Kannur semi-final Federation Cup. JCT were playing Kerala Police. And JCT were having both Vijayan and Ancheri at that time. So crowd was booing Vijayan and Ancheri from the very beginning. And Vijayan scored 2 terrific goals. One is with a flying header. And as he scored the second goal, he got up and gesticulated towards the crowd. And there was so much crowd. We were sitting on the sidelines because press box, there was nobody in the press box was occupied by the crowd only. And I thought there will be a riot today in Kannur. But once the match was over, which JCT won 3-0 against Kerala Police, the entire crowd got up and clapped all the way when Vijay and Anchari trooped out with
That is brilliant, huh?
Brilliant. That was brilliant. You can write a book on Kerala crowd.
Wow.
They are
Because of
absolutely
this, we should get 500
incredible.
people more tomorrow. Added to our this thing. Please clip.
No, it must be preserved. It must be preserved, I feel, and the only way to preserve it is through good football, through honest good football. And the person who's joined us now would know more about this. Kerala Blasters assistant coach Ishfaq Ahmed, sir. Yes, अभी आप टाइमिंग देखो, हमने केरला की बातें शुरू कर दी और आप आगे हम क्राउड की बात कर रहे थे. हम तो ये प्रेडिक्ट कर रहे हैं सर कि अगर खोल दिया उन्होंने क्राउड के लिए तो फिर तो भर गया स्टेडियम. येलो डर्टी फेलो.
वेल मैं थोड़ा बहुत जयदीप दा का सुन रहा था कि इट्स अमेजिंग कि केरला से भी काफ़ी ज़्यादा यूजुअली दे आर फुटबॉल लवर्स एंड वो लोग खचा होते हैं मैदान में. अगर हम लोग फाइनल में पहुंच गए तो आई थिंक इट कैन बी really good, like finally we will be able to see the fans inside the stadium, and I don't know whether it will be packed, but I'm sure there will be a lot of fans.
हाँ. अजीब लगेगा फैंस के सामने खेलते हुए ना. इतना टाइम हो गया सर खेले हुए उनके सामने.
थोड़ा 2 साल के बाद खेलेंगे फैंस के बाद, like but that's what like real football is like. फैंस के बगैर मजा नहीं आता. We don't want to get used to this kind of situation where you don't have fans in this stadium. Without fans, I think football is incomplete, and it's just fun to play in front of home fans, or when even away matches, like when you are playing with in front of away fans. That's something like a different feeling, and it makes you learn to handle the pressure also for young players and everything. तो मुझे लगता है कि अगर फैंस को अलाउ करेंगे तो बहुत अच्छा है.
सर एक बात बताओ, क्योंकि आपने बोला 2 साल बाद फैंस के सामने खेलेंगे, आएंगे तो सेमीफाइनल के लिए आएंगे, और आएंगे तो सर सारी टिकटें कटा के आएंगे, बिकॉज हमने देखा आप लोगों के जो बंदे आते हैं भर के आते हैं, पागल हैं, एंड दे लव इट. एज समवन हु इज प्रिपेयरिंग द टीम mentally, physically, tactically, will you also have to tell your players you're playing in front of fans after a long time, control your emotion, don't get too swayed away, because suddenly आप वो सुनते हो, as opposed to being in a silent stadium, it makes a world of a difference बीच में खेलने वाले को.
I think थोड़ा बहुत अजीब सा तो लगेगा, because 2 साल के बाद when you play like in front of fans और वो शोर वहाँ पे रहेगा, तो मुझे लगता है कि it won't be that unusual also, like ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि हम लोग अचानक से कोई alien world में घुसेंगे, but we do like I think it will be little bit like for some players like nervous start, because there will be the final also. Let's hope first inshallah we reach the final, and उसके बाद I think maybe first 5-10 minutes will be like that, but once you get that confidence, I don't think it will be only for one team. I think it will be for both the teams. Honestly, like but it can be the best thing, for the football, Indian football, if fans are allowed.
So how's the vibe in the team, Ishfaq, building up to the game? What are you sensing? Body language, everything.
Sorry,
आपको
can you
आवाज
guys
आ रही
hear
है मेरी?
me?
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
We've okay. So Ishfaq, can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Sir, how's the vibe in the team? Body language, everything in these last few days.
See, Arjun, there is, like one thing is sure, like at the beginning, when we started this tournament, when we started the league, not many experts or not many people thought we will qualify and all that. But, football is very funny. We knew from beginning, especially me, because I have been with the team from last 3 years, that we have the players, Indian players and now foreign players. Like if they behave like as a team, if they come on one page on same, all the players will play according to the plan and everything they will deliver. And we needed a head coach like Ivan who can get that all these individuals to perform at their best, and that's what exactly happened. We are loving it. The players are enjoying the training sessions. The players are enjoying the matches when they play. They play, like with lot of pride and happiness, which is very important for any sports. When you are happy to get inside the ground or be involved in the sports, that is when you can perform at your best. That is when you can express your feelings on ground and throw football in this case. So you must have seen the last goal when against Mumbai when Sahal scored. That is how I personally as a coach want players to express themselves inside the field, enjoy the football. Like I'm sure most of the players who play football, and in which includes me now as a coach, we didn't take football as a profession. We took it because we love it. It was never your aim is to become a professional footballer, but you just love the sports. And fortunately it happened to be our job also, which is even better. And when you are in love with your job and want to express your feeling and you are happy in one team, I think sky is the limit for the team sometimes.
Ishfaq, can I just jump in here a little bit? So just before he went, just before Renedy left, he said that the kind of match that the kind of form that Kerala Blasters had at the start of the season and what it is now is sort of slightly different. As in, they're not playing very. They had a patch where they kind of went a bit flat. But do you think that it's the team has picked it up to the point that you were able to win that big match against Mumbai City, and that it's changed, that you're kind of back in that old sort of form and that rhythm again?
I think what Renedy Bhai meant is that there was a in between dip, but it had nothing to do with the form. It had to do with that COVID scare which happened in all the teams, and unfortunately we were devastated with that. Out of 55, around 24 member out of 50, I think 24 in the group were tested positive, and some of them were our main players in 11 and from the first 11. And when you don't train, forget about COVID, when you don't train for 10 days, it is not easy to play matches. You need to be in bring that fitness. And how even how we want to play in this team is like really high high tempo game, pressure the opponents in their box, and then it needs a lot of effort, and for the entire 90 minutes. So I think it was more to do with the fitness, because when you don't train, for any top player like professional, especially in football, if you don't train for 1 week, your fitness, no matter how many
body off
months
sync,
you have worked hard, it goes. So then the match fitness is again a different kind of thing. You may train whatever you want inside the training ground, but the match fitness is a different ball game. So it took us a couple of matches to get our get back into our shape and same fitness level. As you rightly said, if you see later on the match against Chennai or East Bengal and Mumbai FC, and even the last match when we were 4-2 down, and we came back and scored a couple of goals, and it ended in 4-4. So I think we have the form, and mainly the players are fit, and the best part is like all our players are available now, which we never had. We had sometimes like 4 goalkeepers on the bench, so to fill the bench. And even I still remember Ivan took a decision where he said, okay, let's take Rahul also, even though he's not fit, let's take him into the bench, let him get that feeling back. We knew that he's not fit here, and we knew he was not even going to do the warm-up, but to have that vibes back, and to get now all the players back, and now we have a headache to who to going to play or who's going to be on the bench. So it's like definitely we will do our best to win these 2 matches and get a place in final.
But Ishfaq, I'm just I'm hearing all the curveballs that have come your way in this tournament. I'm just thinking, as a coach, when you look back at this season, you would say it's been a huge learning for you, because how you're dealing with these curveballs, and you've got a match, and then again a curveball, then you've got a match, and then you're trying to resurrect it, and you found success of moving into the top 4. When you look back, you would say, "यार मैं तो बहुत कुछ सीखा हूँ as a coach in this season."
Yeah, Arjun, everything in life is a learning only. So we don't take football in a different way. It's part and parcel of our lives. We live football basically. So and it's always learning, and there is no better way to learn in a hard way. So I think it has been brilliant so far. Like especially when you go, against the conventional thoughts in the beginning, where you were not considered to be in top 4. It makes it even more sweeter and enjoyable for us to be there. We had, as I told you, we were there for the Shield also, like contender for the Shield also, had we had not that COVID thing in between, where we struggled to get 15 players for the match. But as you exactly said, everything is a learning curve. Like we learned how to deal with those things. We came back strong. It showed the character also of the players, and overall, I think the best part is the way the players are together with the foreigners, like behaving like as a one family. Honestly, that thing has made life easy in bubble. We having that team spirit together, like everyone, no one is bigger than team. Doesn't matter whether it's a foreigner or even from the coaching staff, like coach has made it clear. So everyone plays their role. Everyone knows what is his role or in the team, whether it's player, technical staff, or non-technical staff. So I think that is what Ivan has brought to the team, and that is his some of his best qualities. How he managed everyone is like brilliant.
सर ये ISL जहाँ पे आप इतने मैच खेल रहे हो, बबल है, more than tactics, more than technicality, man management, team management, Jaydeep sir, is so crucial, and how you handle them, because eventually उस level पे तो सबके touch अच्छे हैं, उस level पे तो सबने अच्छे feint देने हैं, उस level पे सबके shot अच्छे हैं, but it's how you get them going over here that is really testing you as a coach.
Arjun, I think this is where Indian coaches also have to learn. When you are a head coach or coaching or the part of the coaching staff with the top professional team, trainings and fitness, that is one aspect. but the main thing is how you manage the team. The managing skill is very, very important. As you rightly said, sometimes to the top players, you don't have to teach them how to push the ball or how to chip a ball or cross the ball. You just have to give them idea and make them believe in that. And how to manage and when, like certain things like, for example, knowing the mood of the team, knowing the mood of the players. What sometimes, like scientific way, like especially the coaches who have played the football, they know it. You may have a training schedule, for example, where we have running or something like that, where it's a hard session, but you may have to change it as a coach, as a head of the team, by checking the mood. It may not be the same time. Maybe you have lost couple of days before a match badly, where you need to cheer them up. You need to change the training session, cheer them up, or just not talk about the match. These are all managing skills, like where you need to have those, especially in a senior professional team, where and especially in bubble, when you are always on to each other's faces every time. So
फिर आ गया भाई.
So those managing is very, very important part, especially in bubble.
Ishfaq, I know you said you can only join us for 10 minutes, so we won't hold you, sir. Thank you so much and all the very best for the playoff game. जाने से पहले सर सबसे बड़ी उपलब्धि 5,000 सब्सक्राइबर.
Congratulations! I saw that. I hope this our 420 gram the family will grow more, and the best part is like I like when like our followers or these guys, the guys who love Indian football, we keep talking rubbish till 1.5 hours or 2 hours. They are still there. So so that's the
always.
best part.
Done. सर वैसे 5,000 पहुंचने पे 55 साल लगे हैं, तो हमारा आंकड़ा ये है कि 10,000 पहुंचने तक इन्फ्लेशन सब कुछ लगा के आप कह लो कि 110 साल तो पक्का लगने वाले. So 10K next year. देखो जी हमारे hard working producer Ishfaq, all the very best. Thank you so much for taking your time and joining us.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sharda.
Thank you, Ishfaq bhai.
Bye-bye.
Best of
Take
luck.
care. Good night.
Good night.
Jaydeep sir, if they go on to win,
who?
I know Ishfaq is gone. Yeah, I'm saying even they don't win. Let's assume if they don't win, just getting to the playoffs, I think that's a successful season for them. And finding a stable coach and finding a stable team.
Yeah, definitely. Because given the performance of the last 2 years, at least the last year, it's a huge jump. Suddenly, it's a huge jump. And see, any team reaching the last 4 among 11 teams, it's a successful, because there is nothing this is the only tournament you play in the season. So when you play the last 4, it is certainly a success, because you don't have any other tournament. Thanks to our great officials, the country doesn't have any other tournament. If you look at it, this is the only knockout tournament in this country. This last playoff.
The last 5 games.
Yeah, that's the only knockout tournament in the country. There is all the knockouts tournament in India has vanished. I'm not blaming. I'm not saying for whose it is. Then I will start blabbering again. So let's not get into it. But like we were talking about Kerala. Kerala has had a knockout tournament in every stop. See, there were teams in India, like especially Punjab teams, even Calcutta teams. They never used to go for pre-season to Dubai or to Spain or to Italy. They used to go for pre-season to Kerala, because 2 months of continuous tournament they will play. And the Calcutta teams, they will play 2-3 tournaments for 2 months, 1.5 months. Then they will come back to Calcutta for in middle April or early May and start the campaign in the Calcutta League. And Punjab teams, so Sukhvinder Singh used to say that we used to have separate ration cards in Kerala when we used to be in Kerala, because महीना हम Kerala में ही रहते थे. Like that. So अभी कहाँ टूर्नामेंट है? यही तो 4 ही तो मैच रह गया है, 4 या 5 या पता नहीं कितने.
ये आपने बात अच्छी बड़ी बोली कि सिर्फ 4-5 नॉकआउट मैचेस हैं, एंड नॉकआउट मैच खेलने का मेंटालिटी अलग होता है कंप्लीटली.
हाँ,
और
120 मिनट वाला जो मैच होता है वो तो दूसरे मेंटालिटी से खेला जाता है. आई होप दिस बॉयज विल नो. दैट्स व्हाट Renedy says is very very pertinent here. He talked about ATK Mohan Bagan because ATK Mohan Bagan has more experienced players.
Yes.
So they will be better off in knockout unless their defense again goof up again.
I just feel a two-legged game somewhat evens the experience part as well. Form and experience sort of then even out in a two-legged game.
You're saying for the semi-final that you've got two games each. That's
yeah, so I'm saying even if a team with less experience is coming with form, never having played there, versus a team who knows what it means to be there, I feel over 2 legs, it evens out that advantage of experience and whatever. You might have nerves in the first game.
Mohan Bagan's anger that they've not won this year. That also, anger quotient is there, no?
Yeah. But one thing is double leg, though generally it's home and away, but this time though it's at the same ground more or less. Whether you are playing in Fatorda or playing in Vasco or wherever, so it's that home and away thing is not there. Like we saw yesterday, PSG won the first leg in against. Now having come to Real Madrid, they have been washed out completely. So that thing is not there, of course.
Not a big fan of this doing away with the away goals. I think it was such a highlight of the knockouts of the Champions League, especially the second leg. You're counting up, आप गणित करते हो कि वहाँ पे एक मार दिया लेकिन एक away goal मारा है, but I guess that helped Real Madrid. Okay, ठीक है जी. आज
के शो में बेंजेमा ने क्या गोल मारा ना सेकंड हाफ में, बाप रे. In 17 minutes he scored 3 goals.
Third goal was brilliant, just amazing. What a goal that
17 minutes, 3 goals, my God.
I'm bringing you back to reality, sir. Bangalore. And
that is true.
To Nehru Stadium, to Margao. नहीं, but ठीक है जी. तो हम लोग ऐसा है आज.
If you when I Arjun, I'm just butting in since you are bringing me to reality. In 98 World Cup, when I came back from the World Cup, so I had 2 days of off. My sports editor G Rajaraman, he says, "Acha 2 दिन का off ले लो." And third day I was at the Ambedkar Stadium for the Delhi League. So very religiously I started covering.
This is what reporters used to do in the past.
Because that's the reality.
Domestic, this is like international to domestic.
Because that's the reality. That's part and parcel of my life, actually.
Yeah.
Great and better.
True.
That was only an outing for a few days.
Sir, this was a nice conversation, and I'm glad we got Renedy and Ishfaq to join in. The point is now 5 आ गए, 5,000. तो अब जो final होगा उससे पहले we will do a build up to the finalists. I'm just going to ask you to tell me your 2 finalists. Sharda, I'll start with you. Who do you think are the 2 finalists in your eyes?
Kerala Blasters, because I'm biased, and Mohan Bagan.
I'd have to agree with you, sir.
I think ideally I should have won. I should have wanted Jamshedpur versus Hyderabad. Ideally, I should. Reality. It could be Jamshedpur versus ATK. I don't know.
Okay.
But again, Arjun, it's a knockout match. It's very difficult to.
All of us are saying ATK. We are waiting for something. They're going to do something. This is a bullshit.
Because they are more experienced team, they know. But again, you have to look at their defense. You saw how they considered the goal against Jamshedpur. The two central defenders were not even in the frame. Tiri in one side and Sandesh Jingan on other side. They were on North Pole, South Pole business. When this Stewart's ball, this fellow scored. What is his name? This Ritik boy scored. So ATK Mohan Bagan defense could be a huge problem. Actually, if you ask me, I think tomorrow's match will be the first semi-final will be very, very well contested. And if you ask me about the second, my feeling is that Hyderabad should be the better team among the two. That's my feeling. Anything can happen, but that's a different issue.
आप अभी वो गोल के बारे में बात कर रहे थे ना, इन प्लेइंग टर्म्स जब इतना गैप होता है ना, उसे कहते हैं हो गया इंडिया गेट टीम का।
इंडिया गेट,
वो इंडिया गेट हो गया था वहाँ पे टीम का, और देखने को मिला। शारदा, जयदीप, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर जॉइनिंग अस ऑन द शो, एंड टू ऑल ऑफ यू हु जॉइंड अस ऑन द शो एंड हैव बीन विद अस मैन फ्रॉम द वेरी स्टार्ट। इशफाक इज राइट, लोग आते हैं और फिर उसके बाद छोड़ते नहीं है, पूरा टू एंड तक पूरा देख के आते हैं। एंड वी ऑफ कोर्स विल बी कमिंग टू यू वंस द फाइनलिस्ट्स आर डिसाइडेड। थैंक यू सो मच फॉर वॉचिंग। गुड बाय।